I get asked all the time, isn't it expensive to have 8 children, to be a family of 10? And the answer to that is yes, of course, it can be. However, there are things that we have invested in, things that we have purchased, and just some various items that have actually helped us to save money over the years. Whether you have 2 kids, 1 kid, 3 kids, 5 kids, 8 kids, 10 kids, it's always nice to save some money. So I want to share with you things that we've purchased that were good investments that have actually helped to save us thousands of dollars as a big family. Whether you like Uggs or not, this is for suede, leather, handbags, shoes, jackets, whatever. I have a suede vest. You probably don't have a suede vest. That is kind of a random thing to own. But not having these things get ruined, having them last for a really long time is obviously part of the reason that many of us are willing to make the investment into these products. So we're going to save ourselves quite a bit of money by taking care of these items from the moment they arrive. I just got these new suede slippers. So before I wear these out or do anything with them, I am going to spray them with my protectant spray. I put these on when they first arrived and I was like,
I'll just wear them around the house.
And I went to brush my teeth and like splashed water on them. And so I immediately took them off and set them on my shelf and said, I'm not allowed to put them on until I do the protectant spray, because even within the confines of my house, I can ruin things. And I bet you probably can too, and so can your kids. So this stuff is amazing. It's so easy to use. You spray the entire shoe, then you wait 10 minutes and you come back and you spray it again. Give it 2 good coats. It's going to build up this protective, water-resistant, stain-resistant layer, and that's going to help protect your suede and your leather all winter, fall season so that it can last for the long haul. If by chance you have a pair of suede leather shoes or something, or a jacket that you are resurrecting from last season, then giving them a good clean before you spray this stuff is going to obviously be very important. And one of my favorite things to do that with are these boot rescue wipes. These wipe away dirt, damaging salt stains. They are fantastic. Again, I use these for cleaning specifically my Ugg boots or Ugg style boots, the suede boots. That's just what I call them, even if they're not really Ugg. They're just all Ugg boots to me in my mind. And then if it's tennis shoes that I'm cleaning, specifically like my Converse or some of my white sneakers, then I clean them with these bad boys. And these are called sneaker erasers. These are great, especially if we're trying to make our kids' shoes last longer. They're getting scuffed up, beat up, all of that, and we want to clean them up and make them look nice. And these are great ways to clean things, prep them, and then if it's a leather or suede type, give it a spray with the protectant spray, and that is going to help to extend the life of your leather and suede goods. This little beauty is one of my favorite, nay, I say most used products in my home. It's one of those that like you don't know you need it until you have it, and then you're gonna find so many crazy ways to use this that you're just gonna be like, dang, I love you, little thing. This is called a Microstitch. Now, for those of you who ever worked in retail, you're like,
Angie, stop lying to me. That's a tagging gun.
technically, ma'am, you are correct. That is the exact same structure of this. However, as you can see, if you get up nice and close, the little plastic things are very tiny. They're a very micro, hence Microstitch, miniature version of the longer tags. These are nice and tiny. You get thousands of them with this item. White and black of the little stitches is what I'm going to call them. My girls, my teenage girls, they borrow clothes from me and they're often too big for them. And sometimes they're borrowing things that like we just need for an event and we don't want to go out and buy a whole new outfit. I use it to close up blouses that are open and like we have too much showing out the top, if you know what I'm saying. Place a little stitch there. The best part is that they are just little plastic type stitches. They're easy to remove when you're done. They don't damage your garment. I have a shirt from American Eagle that's like very open right here that's just like a little too much. I like to add 2 stitches to keep it closed. I've even put that thing through the washing machine with the stitches in and they don't come out. It's not like a permanent solution. That's kind of the point. Although if it's something that's not messed with often, like you wanted to hem a curtain or something, you could do that with this. And then if you're not messing with it, they're just going to stay. They're not going to go anywhere. There are endless uses for this tool. Join me in the kitchen. As you might imagine, feeding 10 people 3 meals a day gets costly both in food but also wear and tear on what we use in our kitchen. This is one of the most important areas to invest my time in making things, but also be more willing to invest my money in quality items that are going to last. and are also safer, healthier. Don't fall down the rabbit hole, or maybe you should, of learning about like the different things that are contained within our cookware. It's scary, and especially related to like plastics and Teflon and other things. So I did a bunch of research on that, and over the years I have been switching everything to glass, stainless, ceramic. One of the best investments that we have made is into good, high quality cookware. We are cooking multiple times a day for 10 people. Like, I need cookware that can handle that and not need to be replaced like every few months or once a year. I need cookware that's not going to fall apart. As I previously mentioned, after falling down the rabbit hole of understanding like some of the surfaces and the materials and stuff that are used and how toxic those can be, I also wanted a cleaner alternative to that. I've actually shared it with you guys before about our Caraway pots and pans. We have had the white set for a number of years, and I recently got the black and gold to add. Again, we're cooking for 10 people 3 times a day, so we often are using like multiples of things and doubling batches and tripling batches. It comes with the Dutch oven, the saucepan, the saute pan, and the fry pan. You get the accompanying lids that fit all of these, and then you also get the hanger for them and these little stands that you see that are magnetic that are holding the pots and pans up. Fantastic way to just store each one individually so they are well taken care of. I want to show you exactly why I love these. I've also turned my mom onto these. She has a whole set as well. It's kind of a family favorite. I want to show you up close and personal. So come up close. I'm going to show you why these are the best. So I've got this pan over like a low to medium heat. The ceramic coating that these pots and pans have is naturally like slick. So you don't need a bunch of oils and butters. Now, I love butter just for the taste, but you don't need a whole bunch of it for things to just cook and easily slide right off. It is non-toxic and it's amazing. I'm gonna show you right now my little farm straight from the chicken coop eggs, okay? I'm gonna scooch the camera up close because I want you to see this and not my face. You don't need to see my face. Oh yeah, baby. Be careful and always use silicone or wood with your pots and pans. Look at that. There's not an ounce of oil or butter on this pan. Can you see how the eggs are just easily sliding around and off? Just easy, easy peasy. I'm telling you, these are amazing. Amazing. Okay, let me get a plate before those burn. Some of you who like your eggs really runny are probably horrified and like,
She way overcooked those eggs.
anything that's on it is just going to slide right off so easy. If y'all are new to Caraway, like as a brand in general, like I said, I turned my mom onto these a few years ago. She loves her set. Caraway is a non-toxic, like kitchen essentials brand. So you can trust that everything you're gonna get from them is gonna be clean, sustainable, non-toxic, all of the stuff that we want, none of the stuff that we don't. And if you're like, Angie, why does any of this matter? It only takes 2.5 minutes of cooking on high heat for a traditional like non-stick type pan to start emitting toxic fumes. We find all these chemicals that they use in like industrial type things that make things like resistant to heat or water or grease or whatever. And they're like, oh, cool, cool, cool. We'll just start using those in pots and pans. And then we find out later, oh, that is bad. That's not good. PFOA is something that is used in cookware. It's actually a manufactured chemical. They will use it, and it has been known to cause developmental delays, reproductive issues, liver kidney issues, like not good stuff we're all typically trying to avoid. And of course, hopefully it goes without saying that like all of the Caraway cookware is free from all of those toxins and chemicals. They don't use any of that. If you also are wanting to make the switch to a non-toxic alternative for your cookware, your pots and pans, I highly recommend Caraway. And buying the cookware set is gonna save you 20% when you're bundling it all together. And of course, because I always try to share things with y'all, when I can give you an extra discount, you can use my code, and that's gonna get you an additional 10% off. Be sure to check the description box so you can get that link and the code so you could save an additional 10%, stack that on top of the already good deal. Next on the list are my Pullman style bread pans. These are awesome. I don't want this to be too loud into the microphone, but you can see that they have lids that slide off and on to help make an actual like square loaf sandwich style loaf of bread, which I feel like is a great way to help transition your kids to homemade sandwich bread. Kids get squirrely if it doesn't look like the bread that they're used to. So this makes like actual sandwich style bread. I do have a recipe that I use to make 2 full loaves of this. It saves our family so much money. We go through so much sandwich bread. Check down below in the description box if you want our sandwich bread recipe. Like I said, it does make 2 of these basically large loaves. You can see this is a quite long, deep, and the point of the lid is to keep it flat so that you don't get that rounded top bread. You get the actual square bread, like a loaf of bread from the store that your kids are used to. So my kids love my sandwich bread recipe, and I bet yours will too. So you can find that down below. But this is something else that making the investment into the right pans, good pans, quality pans that make the style of bread that I know my kids will like and eat, and taking the time to develop a recipe for this that works for us, that works in our climate and all of that. It's just been something that I feel like is totally worthwhile, especially when you're feeding 10 people who all love bread. We all love bread. The next little gadget that I want to share with you is this mason jar sealer. This thing is awesome. So if you utilize mason jars for making salads or smoothies or just storing things, a lot of times when we get fresh fruits and vegetables, I will cut them up and then I can put them into mason jars. And this actually works with both regular and wide mouth. You can unlock it and get to the larger size or the regular mason jar size. Oops, it's going now. I don't have it attached to anything, but it's going now. You just charge it. Okay, all right, ma'am, that's a little much. You just charge it and then hit that little button to start, and it vacuum seals your mason jars. Again, if you're not somebody who does like food preservation, a lot of like canning of things. I'm so bad at canning, remembering to can. And so this is great. It's fast, it's easy to use, and it's something that can help you extend the life of the things that you're putting into these jars. It allows you to put that little sealant top on, not like store it for a million years. This is not like bunker level, but in your fridge a little longer is really handy. Which then brings me to my regular vacuum sealer. So this machine is really cool because it has 2 options to use. You can seal things, or you can actually vacuum out the air and seal it. So again, great for extending the life of like bulk items that you purchase. Sometimes, again, if I purchase like bulk of certain fruits or vegetables that I know tend to go rotten fast, then I will just do the airtight seal just to put like half of them away and extend the life of those. But if you've got like meat or something and you really want to like suck all the air out of it and really like vacuum seal it, it does that too. The bags that it uses are pretty inexpensive, so it's just that initial investment into the machine itself. The bags and stuff are, like I said, not terribly expensive. You can get them in different sizes, or you can get like a roll where you just cut it where you need to because you're, like I said, like heat sealing the end there. It's such a handy thing, something that I didn't actually make the investment in and purchase until earlier this year, and I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. That's how I feel about some of this stuff, is I'm like, man, I wish I would have had this a long time ago. We're getting into song territory. I don't know. Okay, do you have pets? We have pets, a lot of them. Let's talk saving money in regards to pets, both things that they use and things that they destroy. So what you're witnessing here right now, this is not supposed to be happening, okay? This dog technically is supposed to be on this sofa, but as you can see, he doesn't care. He doesn't care what the rules are. His father doesn't make him obey the rules. Here you have it. This is not an advertisement for proper dog training, okay? This is not how one trains a dog. The point is that if you too allow your pets on your furniture, and maybe you kind of wish you hadn't let them do that, but now you're not willing to do the work to get them off all the time, because let's be honest, once they've learned they can do something and it's okay, it's a lot harder to train it out of them than it is to just teach them to begin with not to do it. So we suffer the consequences of our choices, and here we are with a 100+ pound Great Pyrenees sleeping on the sofa in the middle of the day. Because of that, this pet pad, this pet fluffy pad thing, is my new favorite thing. This is one of those I wish I would have gotten a lot sooner. I had a sofa cover. I felt like it was really like it would get like moved around and knocked off. It didn't like stay in place with kids and, you know, getting on and off the sofas and things like that. This thing is awesome because it's like thick enough and, you know, kind of heavy enough. It just covers the bottom part of the sofa. I just toss it in the washing machine. You can put it in the dryer. I a lot of times will hang dry it, but just toss it in the washing machine. It's perfect. It comes in a bunch of different colors. It's very like soft. It washes up well. It dries well. We've had this one for quite a while now, and it's really one of the best like investments I've made in protecting my furniture from my kids and pets, by the way. Technically, they make this for pets, but if you've got furniture that you want to protect, but you also want to allow your kids and pets on your furniture, if you're one of those people. If you're not, if you're like no pets on the furniture person, you're probably horrified right now. But if you're someone who lets your pets on your furniture, I mean, I'm a little horrified by this. I won't lie. This is not my favorite. If I were gonna come and hang out, he would be getting down. But because there's no one home right now but me, and I'm talking to you, he's taking full advantage of that. And as you can see, he's pretending to be asleep so that he doesn't have to acknowledge my presence, because he knows that I will not be happy about this, particularly using my brand new pillow as a pillow for his big old noodle. Aslan, sir, are you supposed to be on the soap? Do you see that? Cracked an eye open and closed it. Like I'm pretending like you're not here. So love this thing, okay? That's all I want to say about that. Now, we continue on with pets. This is Jessie. She has a somewhat irrational fear of the camera, so I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to run away in just a second. Doing grooming at home, grooming for dogs especially, don't pay much attention to her. She got a special groom for my birthday. My daughter groomed her with a mohawk, like a mohawk here on top. She kind of just looks like a warthog now, but it's grown out, so it's really, really long right here. You can see what was left of it, of her mohawk. Getting the tools to do some of the grooming, particularly the nail trims at home. And I'm gonna tell you the secret sauce to that. Getting a Dremel, because often we don't like to trim our dog's nails, because especially if your dogs have toenails where it's not easy to see the quick, and then you pinch that, cut that with your clippers, then they scream and then they bleed, and then you're horrified, they're horrified, and together it means that you like now have created an issue about nail trims. So using a Dremel for dog nails has been one of the best things that we have ever done. It's great because it is just like a Dremel. So you're just kind of sanding away the toenail. It's so much less risk of cutting, going too far with it. And over time, you kind of cause that quick to get pushed back. Our vet actually taught us this, that if you consistently use that Dremel, you can get it to where the dog's natural nail isn't even as long anymore. Like you can get them to kind of stay shorter longer, much, much longer. So you can go even longer between nail trimmings, dremelings, shavings, filings, whatever you want to call it. Highly recommend. Now we have like an actual grooming table and like all the shears and stuff like that. If you don't have a dog that requires that, smart of you. But if you do, then understanding the basics can save you a lot of money. Again, we have a lot of dogs, a lot of kids. I can't be paying for all the dogs to go get the perfectly coiffed and groomed hair, you know, every 6 weeks. So sometimes you got to DIY it. Extending the life of things in our home, like I said, is kind of like a fun game for me. How can I figure out ways to make these things last longer, patch and repair them? Do your kids have books that they love and that have seen their better days because they are well loved? But you really want to make them last longer, help them last longer. Once something starts kind of coming apart, it can go downhill very quickly. So this bookbinding tape is awesome. It's specifically made for books so that it's not damaging to the book. Some tapes, the adhesive that's in them can damage the paper and things like that. So this is fantastic for correcting and fixing clear. I think you can actually get it in other colors too if you want to, but I like the clear to be able to repair the sort of already splitting binding on our books so that they last longer. Now, lash extensions. For years, I would go and get lash extensions, and They are much like other things. You kind of get what you pay for when it comes to going and having the single individual lashes applied to each of your lashes by a professional lash artist. They are truly artists if they do a really great job. It can take a long time. You can be in there for hours. I fall asleep. I snore on the table. It's embarrassing, but it's also expensive. That's a service, so you've got tip on top of the price, and it can be very, very pricey. And depending on how greasy your eyelids are and stuff, they can just not last as long. I started doing like DIY lash extensions at home. These are like strip lashes had a baby with professional lash extensions. That's how I would describe them. You're not putting a full lash strip on like with the glue strip and then sticking it on and then peeling it off at night, but you're also not applying individual lashes that requires a lot of talent, skill, training, etc. These are tiny clusters. You can get them in so many different sizes, curls. You might want to do like a smidge of research about what you like in terms of lashes. I order a couple of different and mix them, like different styles, because I know what I like by now. So I kind of mix mine up, apply them under your lashes. Okay, so it's not like a strip lash that goes on top. They get applied under your lashes, and they stay, depending on, you know, how well you apply them, how properly you apply them, and all of that. They'll stay on your lashes for anywhere from a few days to a week. The glue, the bond, you have a sealant that you put on, and then I even have this product I use that's like called Crystal something. I'll link to it down below. After a few days, you apply that, and it helps to make them stay on longer and last longer. If you're not somebody who cares about, you're like, what? I've never really wanted to do that. The reason that I like them is because I feel like when I wake up and I have lash extensions, I don't feel the need or desire to wear a ton of makeup, because it just kind of, I don't know, I could put on a little brow product, a little lip gloss, and go. I just feel more pulled together. You wake up a little prettier than, you know, you normally would. At least I do. Maybe you're just gorgeous the way you are, you precious little thing. But for some of us, we have to try, okay? We have to put in a little bit of effort, E for effort. And that's what these are. They're not expensive. They're not hard. You might have like a little learning curve with them in the beginning, so don't expect perfection out of yourself with this. But I highly recommend them. It's under $20 to get everything you need, and it's gonna last you probably, depending on how often you swap them out, probably a few months, couple months. Not at all expensive, a big like money saver, especially if you are someone who actually really likes lash extensions and pays for them regularly. Your wallet is gonna thank you for switching to these, okay? I love them. All right, y'all, hopefully you found some of these things helpful, give you some ideas. Maybe you're doing all of these, maybe you're doing none of them. Everything is linked for you down below in the description box. And don't forget, go down there to check out the Caraway Pots and Pans set. Buying them as a set is gonna already save you 20%, but you can stack my code on top of that to get an additional 10% off. So definitely check those out, and I will see y'all again very soon.